we starting?
Say something about how did you find this particular...
First of all, I have to say that it was extremely fascinating and inspiring to see such a big part of the Indian culture, or like the film industry in general, and seeing how different it is from what we're used to. And that to me was a real eye-opener.
The great contrast between the text-focused films in the Western world and in Europe is quite a big contrast to the Indian side in Bollywood, which is totally focusing on the music, while taking the super eclectic approach of mixing together all the music that was, especially during the time that India was pretty shut down by its foreign policies. Quite interesting to see that they engaged actually with a lot of influence from outside while they were shut down in a way.
Super, yes.
And I just think it was nice in the end also when we had the discussion session that people could interact, and then we could get like a more kind of response to the clips, because even though you have nice examples of these different tendencies, it's also good that you can explain it in a deeper way. So for example, like I didn't even realize that there was something called the raga, where you do this thing with the voice, or there are different like trends or rhythms, and it was really nice that we could interact and see that showcased. And also I think it's a pity that the Western world, they don't really appreciate this to the same level. We're not even aware of that. I mean, you look at some of the Bollywood movies and you think, oh, they're so exaggerated and it's like over the top, and they look at it as being silly instead of looking behind that kind of exaggerated acting. It's way more than that. And that musical background is actually really not just the background, it's the essence of it.
It's just as soon as you start to understand the culture in a way, and the background, where it comes from, why it is the way that it is, and what it means to the people, that it gets for yourself, also really interesting to follow. So after that evening we maybe join for a nice Bollywood evening, and then over to cinema in Mumbai the next days, I would say.
But I have to say also like how Bollywood in itself is like a summary, or like not a summary, but really gathering like all these different influences and really reflecting the time of when it was made. So it's kind of showing, you know, what was current at that certain point by showing, like for example, what kind of influences had and stuff, and that's really inspiring. And then I also feel that all of a sudden that for Indian people who like Bollywood to look at Hollywood movies must be really boring now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I'm in the end to say, like, quite curious about what you guys would think about the Danish movies and the Scandinavian films, because they tend to be living from a minimalistic approach, and the humor that is quite, and exposure that is quite far away from what is here. So maybe we get to try to do it vice versa the next time.
Yeah, definitely.
Movies.
Yeah, Bollywood.
I love it. I have been watching Indian movies since I was a little child, because I lived in China before, and we see a lot of Bollywood movies and a lot of Indian movies. Always dancing, always singing, having fun, so I love it. Yeah, I don't have any other words, but
did you get to learn anything too?
Music was so blended, you know, it has inspiration from all over the world. But I'm thinking, I'm missing, you know, Chinese influence.
There is quite a lot.
I know.
There is one from Love in Tokyo, if you notice. It is kind of pentatonic music, which is the Oriental.
Yeah, but Chinese music is not interesting. It's not that interesting as Indian music. Indian music is more rhythm. Chinese music is more like it's more slowly. It doesn't have those kind of rhythm. But we have the same thing you have with the stringing, the thing. We have it's called pipa. You know, we also string, and the long ones. I don't know what's it called in English. The long string instrument where they play like this. That's also the same way where they do with the strings. It's so beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great.
Amazing. And for me being Austrian, I thought it was so fascinating to see that they can include the waltz into Indian music. That was something I've never even thought about before, that Indian music could be so diverse. And when he came out with the flamenco, so that Spanish influence and how they incorporate that, and how it, if you listen to it, it's amazing, and you would never even think about it. And it also shows like how open Indian culture actually is, and how internationally interested they were already in the 60s and the 50s when this all started. And that was really new to me. I had no idea that this existed. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, so just about the whole session? Oh, it was such a lovely session. I've never known so much about Bollywood music as I do now. And I really enjoy just hearing the crazy sounds and crazy like rhythms, etc. And also, I really love that some parts of Bollywood has come to the West without us knowing. So basically the West has stolen some parts and just claimed it as their own. And now when I get to hear the origin, I feel so much more India than ever before.
Wow. Thank you.
It was really nicely organized, and
You're running away.
like always prepared which clip you want to show. And I think there was a lot of genre, so I think it was really interesting. I didn't know a lot about Indian Bollywood music before, so it was very informative. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.